This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
This is Creepy Soup on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Really sure I'm not. No, we don't want to live stream. No, we don't want to live stream. Oh, hi. Welcome.
Is that what it's doing? I'm scared.
I really hope it's not.
Mom, stop it. Mom!
I don't think we're doing a live stream.
It just said we were.
I don't think we are.
Make it stop.
Anyway, we're really sorry, but we've never had this message pop up for live stream. So anyway, this is even if we are, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
We fuck up.
Yeah, we'll fuck up live. That's fine.
It's fine.
But welcome to episode 140 of Creepy Soup, brought to you by the PFC Entertainment Network. Oh. And we don't know what's going on right now. So,
Fuck it.
I don't think we're live.
I hope not. Oh my god.
I really don't think we're live.
Well, our viewers are definitely going to get a nice freak out.
Well, they've also they are constantly doing changes on Riverside. And maybe that's just a new message that pops up. But, I don't know. We'll see. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Well, as you know, it's been a day.
Yes.
We were supposed to have pretty extreme weather.
Supposed to? I think we did.
We did. And because of the weather, and I not only have to look at the weather here, but I also have to look at the weather where I work. And they were getting some severe weather. I drive a little Malibu that's like this close to the ground. So puddles and things like that, they're not my friend. So no. I made the executive decision for my safety.
Your car's safety.
And my car's safety.
It's not like your work is going to replace your car.
Right. But I made the executive decision to take a VR day. And the plan was we were going to record an episode before I went to work and then once when I got home. And then I'm like, well, we'll just record two. We'll just do like a quick wardrobe change, whatever.
I don't agree with that. I'm not doing that.
Okay, whatever.
We could
switch shirts. We could just switch. It's fine. And I don't have a stable network connection, which fucking wonderful. Let's hope it don't kick me out again. So anyway, yeah, now we gotta watch that too. Oh my god, this is just so unorganized. It's so chaotic. Okay, it went away. Anyway, I'm got in my head we can get two knocked out of the park today, and we lose power.
4 hours.
We were without power for about 6 hours.
4 hours.
No. Because it was...
No, I'm not saying 4 hours. I'm saying 4.
Oh, yeah. It was many hours. We lost it about 12...
Long, agonizing hours.
12:30-ish. And it was... When I tell you, me, Buddy, and Bentley were in the kitchen. And...
No, it was me too.
You were in there too?
Yes.
I don't know. We were so There was so many. But anyway, there was like the whole kitchen lit up, boom, and then we heard where everything just said,
Bye-bye.
"Fuck you, we're down."
We're out.
But thankfully, we made it through, and we're back to having power. And we were wearing.
We barely survived.
We barely, like, I did get the kids to be quiet. Like, silence out of them for a little bit. It didn't last too long, because, they're kids, but.
You had to threaten one with a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Well, he looks like a little mop, so it's fine. He looks like a mop and one of the Beatles from the band had a baby. Yeah. And anybody who's watching this who has in the last month or so watched What the 80s that drops on Wednesdays, you'll see that, like Jason and I have talked about, I quit drinking pop, but I gave in because there was some stress today, so I have.
And it's bigger than your usual.
I know. So this is like all the pop I'm going to drink for like 2 months.
Talk about best son-in-law ever.
Well, I paid for it, so not that great.
He could have got you a rinky-dinky one.
That would have been fine. I was expecting a 20 ounce. That's fine. So yeah, we lost power, and it was, when kids lose power on spring break, it's sad for them,
pretty.
But it's also horrifying for adults.
Yeah. I think I'd rather be murdered in a bathtub. No, I'd rather be murdered in a bathtub.
Okay. Well, I'll know for next time. Well, at least we'll have a craft for the kids to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a nightmare. We survived. We survived the blackout. And her dad, my husband, he just stayed in bed. He was like, "Fuck this! I'm not even gonna try."
Yeah, I had no TV to watch.
Well, it's not even that. He was just like, "Fuck it."
Right. We'll just call this reset day.
Yeah, reset day. We got this. And it's fine. And so I was getting ready to finish up my notes for the episode when I was procrastinating and scrolling Facebook and saw someone asking another podcast that I don't know how I started following them. They probably did an episode on the Watts case, and that's I'll bet you if I look up their shit, they did one on the Watts case. But anyway, someone had asked about this case. Well, that got me wondering. So I went on the little Google machine and did a search, and I found some stuff. And of course, because of the power outage and, it's a dreary day and not a lot of light, I didn't really have a chance for notes and anything like that. So
plus, let's face it, that kind of weather just makes you sleepy and not want to do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Ready for your phone?
Just about. I mean, you can grab it. It's fine. But I found this case, and now the other one I'm still gonna do, because that one, the one I was originally gonna do for this episode, was the Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum.
Oh my god.
Because it's reportedly haunted.
Oh.
So,
shocker. Why didn't you keep that a secret?
You know what? Because I don't care. I was excited about it. And, yeah, I did no steps today. So Fitbit can fuck right off. And oh, sorry, Monica. I can't talk right now. I feel bad. So, but I found this one. And I had never heard of it before. So I did send myself I sent the Wikipedia, and I also sent another website.
It's not like the other website that we did last week, was it?
No, that was, oh my god. No, because that one was like Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't know what the actual website was, but it gave Rotten Tomato. I know, I see it. As long as it don't boot us out, it can do that. I don't really care. I don't care.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Oh, well, my internet went out on my phone, so everything's taken like 8 times the amount.
Let me turn it.
Okay, it's back now.
Turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone.
And this is actually kind of time sensitive because the actual crime happened on March 30th. We are recording this on April 2nd, and it will drop, of course, on the 6th.
Wait, what?
What do you mean, wait?
It happened just last month?
No, it happened in 1975.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
50 years ago.
Gotta be more...
What I mean is time, because it was March 30th, and that just passed, like, a few days ago.
You sound like it was this year, Mom.
And it happened on Easter.
You play too much.
Yeah. You're not paying attention.
Mom! You did not say the year.
I meant, like, it's a time-sensitive story. I didn't mean that it just happened a couple days. Fuck off. Look. Suck it. So, I know, I before we get started, I will say I am excited because this coming Saturday on the 5th, so the day before this episode drops, I will be going to the Paracon at the State Theater in Bay City.
Closed because it got sued.
Well, it was purchased. The same guy that purchased the Midland Mall. St. Laurent Brothers Candy.
Okay.
Bought the State Theater and the Court Theater.
They bought it?
Mm-hmm. But they're keeping it a theater, so...
It's not the point.
I know, it's not. I wanted someone else to buy it, and...
I wanted us to buy it.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, for real, I wanted us to go in on it.
Half? Wanted to do halvesies?
Yeah, halfsies.
Okay.
Be co-owners.
Okay.
Could have been an us thing.
Well, I knew us couldn't afford it. Us couldn't have afforded it.
Yeah, but unlike everybody else that could have bought it, it's sentimental for us.
Well, yes, it's sentimental for us, and I completely understand that, but I was hoping somebody else, I think you know.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But moral of the story.
Yeah, would I have loved to do it? Absolutely. Absolutely, but I know if it would have went to auction, there's no way we would have got the winning bid. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, the moral of this story is I've got, and I will tell you, if you are interested, well, by the time this drops, it'll be over. So, but I will tell you that the first... I should just go to events. That would pop up there, right? Right.
I don't know.
Should. Anywho.
Any hoodle.
Okay, now you're going to work right like in the middle. You're going to just pop off with your bullshit. It is... Why... This week. It's a specific autism charity is what I'm, but of course I'm not finding it now. Still not finding it.
Trivia night.
Pretty Woman the musical.
Sorry, I'm all open her phone.
Yeah.
I want to do trivia night.
I would love to do trivia night. I would kick ass. I'm pretty good at
We
trivia.
both would kick ass. What are you talking about?
Yeah, everything's popping up but that. I will say April 11th I got a ghost hunt, so anyway, I can't find it, but it's a autism awareness charity. All the proceeds are going to that. They do have like a virtual and an in-person, so yeah, that's funsies. And no, I'm just gonna hold it in my hand. I don't give a fuck. So I got the Paracon thing on Saturday, and I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be really early in the morning for me, though. Not as early as that fucking class I had to take, though. So there's that. All right, you ready to pop that Xanax and trombone with some strangers?
All day.
All day. Let's go. Okay, this is the Easter Sunday Massacre.
Want a little bit of murder with your ham?
As previously stated, this happened March 30th, 1975.
You didn't...
There were 11 victims.
Someone was cranky.
11 victims. And, like, I don't really have a whole shit ton of information about this, because, again, no internet, and, just whatever signal I had on my phone, which is not very great. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm going to read the stuff from the Wikipedia first. And you know what? Actually, I'm not. I lied. I'm a big fat liar. I'm going to read from the other one first, because the Wikipedia is more updated than, well, the only thing it really updates is shocker, the guy that perpetrated is now...
That's a shame.
Deceased, right. So, we're going to tell you a little bit about James Urban Ruppert. He was born March 29th. So this happened...
Are you sure it's not Rupert?
It could be Rupert Ruppert. Do we really care what his name is? No. He's an asshole.
Oh, that's it? Just an asshole.
All right, we'll call him Rupert for your benefit. Okay? Anyway, he was born March 29th, 1934.
His mother should have swallowed.
In this case, well, you know what? I'm going to say in this case, I mean, his mom wasn't a great person either.
Well, okay, so then her mom should have swallowed too.
Yes, and that could have knocked out this whole fucking tragedy, and then we would have done the Edgar Allan Poe thing this week. All because Grandma didn't swallow. Anyway.
They're here because Grandma got fucked.
Essentially, yeah. So his early life was sad, and he was abused. His mother, Charity, often called him a mistake because she wanted a daughter. His father, Leonard Sr., was a violent man. Oh, and I'm sorry. This comes from what website? AmericanHauntingsInc.com. Yeah, so this goes a little back and forth, so I'm sorry. So the father was a violent man with a quick temper and little time. He really wasn't affectionate towards his two sons. And, violent. He died in 1947. James was 12, and his older brother, Leonard Jr., was 14. And it even says he wasn't missed. So James' parents were Leonard Sr. and Charity. So after Leonard Sr.'s death, Leonard Jr. kind of becomes the head of the household. So he kind of takes over with the picking at James. So now you got your mom being a bitch and your brother being a bitch. And both boys went to college. And in the two different sources, one says he dropped out, one says he flunked out of that James either dropped out or flunked out. Either way, 2 years of college, he was done. And really didn't become anything major. Now, Leonard Jr., on the other hand, he becomes an electrical engineer. He earned a degree in electrical engineering, and he excelled in sports. Leonard Jr. also had many girlfriends, but who did he marry? One of James's girlfriends. So he was kind of a dick. But it doesn't say, like, were they together when Leonard swooped in, or did they break up and she was just the pick of the litter? Right. Bros before hoes, right?
Sure.
Leonard didn't know that.
Leonard probably did him a favor.
Well, I don't...
Because hoes can't be stolen. Hoes will be hoes.
Yeah, so...
They're for everybody.
James didn't have many girlfriends, but it says Leonard married one of the few girlfriends that James had ever had. Leonard goes on to have 8 children with this woman. 8. And they range in age from, I believe, 4 to 17. So it's 8 kids in like 13 years' time. That's...
They walked out.
Girl, get you a hobby. Take up sewing.
Instead of being on your back.
Good God.
Wonder if she's related to Jim.
Stop. So...
Sorry.
Now we're going to jump back a little bit. Because it does say, like, James did shitty in school, which kind of leads me to believe that he did flunk out instead of dropped out. Yeah. Or, I don't know, maybe he dropped out because he knew he wasn't doing great, and why waste the money on, well, I don't know how expensive college was back then, but I would assume. At 16, James was very unhappy with, his mom doing her mom thing, and his brother being a dick. So he runs away from home, and he tries to hang himself with a sheet.
Oh.
And he failed, so he went back home.
So he just fails at everything?
Yeah. Well, there's one thing he didn't fail at.
He was the fastest swimmer.
Well, he was the fastest swimmer, and, I mean, he did something. So, anyway, now we're jumping, I don't know what year this is, but Leonard gets his electrical engineering degree, and he's working for General Electric. He is married to, I believe her name is Amy. I don't remember. I think her name is Amy, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm going back to the fucking Wikipedia because that was a little easier to deal, to be honest. And it does have all the same information. The only thing is Wikipedia is more updated with,
And that's fine.
So the background, a fatherly figure as an adult. It does describe James as being 5'6", which, look, it's tall to me. 5'6" is tall to me. And he weighed 130 pounds, that lucky fucker. So he was also described as modest, bookish, and helpful.
Okay.
But he was also described as unremarkable and quiet. And up until this incident, he had no police record. So, I mean, he was not a great human, but he wasn't, like, I don't know. So, a month before the massacre, James had inquired about silencers. Yeah. For his weapons while purchasing ammunition.
Yeah, because that's not a red flag.
Yeah. One of the complaints his mom had, because he, like his brother, was successful, had a wife.
How was he as a dad?
It doesn't say he was a bad dad. It doesn't even say he was a bad husband. It just said he was a bad brother. He sucked at brothering. Mama Charity, not very charitable, but I guess I get if your child is in his 40s and still living at home and not paying rent and spending all the little bit of money he does have every night at the bar. Yeah, I could see where, after a while you're going to threaten to boot him out, which she does. And James also owed his mother and his brother money because he had lost most of the little bit of money he had in the 1973-1974 stock market crash. So he didn't have a lot. So and this does take place in Ohio. I don't think I said that. In Ohio, yes. Hamilton, I believe. So on March 29th, 1975, which was his 41st birthday, witnesses seen him engaging in target practice, shooting his .22 caliber pistol and his .22 caliber rifle along the banks of the Great Miami River in Hamilton. The night before the murders, like he did every other night of his fucking life, he went to the bar. This particular one was called the 19th Hole Cocktail Lounge. He talked with an employee, 28-year-old Wanda Bishop. She would later state that James told her he was frustrated with his mother's demands and his impending eviction that she kept talking about. Whether or not she was actually going to go through with it, I don't know. But he also told her that he needed to solve the problem. And that's in quotes. He needed to solve the problem. According to Wanda Bishop, his mother had complained that if he could afford to buy beer 7 nights a week, he could afford to pay rent, which she's not wrong.
No, she's not.
Even if you cut out a couple of them nights, as long as you're giving her something. Because I'm sure she cooked his food and washed his clothes, because it probably doesn't sound like he did much of anything for his damn self. He left the bar at 11 p.m., but later returned. And then at that point, Wanda asked him, have you solved your problem yet? And he said, no, not yet. And he stayed until the bar closed at 2:30 a.m.
But I honestly think he's probably like that. Not that it's an excuse, but maybe if he had a better support system, he wouldn't be the way he was. Like, if his mother actually showed him love and support, maybe he would have been better for it. He wouldn't have flunked out of school, and he actually would have been, felt like he's good enough to be something.
I mean, possibly. Very possibly. But it really doesn't go into much of how the mother was with the brother either.
Right.
So, and maybe it was with James, she wanted a daughter. So, I don't know. So on Easter Sunday, 1975, Rupert's brother Leonard, his wife Elma, not Amy. I was close. It had the A and the M. So Leonard, his wife Elma, brought their 8 children, ranging in age from 4 to 17, for Easter dinner at their house, which I'm guessing was the mother's house.
Yeah.
Charity. And they lived at 635 Minor Avenue. I don't know if that's important, but
Maybe it's still standing.
it might be. James stayed upstairs, sleeping off the night of drinking before, because remember, he closed down the bar. While the other family members did Easter things. The kids had an egg hunt out in the front yard. Around 4 p.m., James woke up, loaded a .357 Magnum and two .22 caliber handguns and a .22 caliber rifle, and headed downstairs where Charity was. I mean, I don't know if this was like a side dish for Easter, but she was making sloppy joes. Yep. So there was also in the kitchen, there was Charity in the kitchen. There was Leonard Jr., Elma, and three children at that time in the kitchen. So he came downstairs and instantly shot Leonard Jr. in the head in the kitchen. Then he shot Elma. And at that point, his mother lunged at him, and he shoots his mother. And then he killed David, Teresa, and Carol, who were three of the children. James then turned the corner into the living room, and one by one, James shot his remaining niece and nephews. Anne, Leonard III, Michael, Thomas, and John. And in a minute, it gives you the whole list of the victims, and I'll read their names and ages. The only sign of a struggle at the crime scene... Oh, wait. This is... he did shoot all the victims again to ensure that they were dead. And then he sat... I believe he sat for like 3 hours in the house with all these dead relatives before calling the police. And it does say that the only sign of a struggle at the crime scene was one overturned waste paper bin. That's it. It's the only sign of a struggle. After spending 3 hours in the house, James finally called the police and said, "There's been a shooting."
No kidding.
He then waited just inside the front door for the police to arrive. He fired 44 shots, 40 of which hit their targets. And the victims were Charity Rupert, 65. Again, that's his mother. His brother Leonard Rupert Jr., 42.
Damn, if the mom's 65 and... Okay.
Was that 23 when she had kids? When she had him, anyway. Elmer Rupert, which of course is his sister-in-law / ex, was 38. Leonard Rupert III was 17. Michael Rupert was 16. Thomas Rupert was 15. Carol Rupert was 13. Anne Rupert was 12. David Rupert was 11. Teresa Rupert was 9. And John Rupert was 4. So 11 victims. And 8 of those victims were children. And it doesn't say like what kind of relationship he had with the kids. I don't know. Those who knew James, because of course this shocks the town of Hamilton, did not think he was capable of violence, especially at that level.
Yeah.
By all accounts, neighbors considered the Ruperts a nice family. James was arrested and charged that day with 11 counts of aggravated homicide. He refused to answer questions asked by the police, and he pretty much made it clear that he was going to plead insanity. The county prosecutor at the time, John Holcomb, reviewed the crime scene and stated there was so much blood on the first floor, it was dripping through the floorboards into the basement. Yep. All 11 victims were buried in Arlington Memorial Gardens in Cincinnati, Ohio. A year later, the house was opened to the public and all of its contents were auctioned off. It was then cleaned, recarpeted, and rented to a family new to the area, and they had no idea of what happened there. They did not live there long. They left the house claiming they were hearing voices and other explained noises. Other families moved in and out, and the house is still occupied. Now, one thing that the other website, the AmericanHauntingsInc.com, let me scroll to that, and I think that's why it's on here, because there were people that, said the house was haunted. Yes, it was cleaned up, carpets were placed over the bloodstains that could not be removed, and it was rented out to a family that was new to the area. They quickly moved out. After leaving the house, and this is a quote from the website, they claimed to hear voices and strange noises that they couldn't explain. Lights turned on and off, doors slammed, and thudding footsteps were often heard coming down the stairs. We hear that.
Right.
They were not the last to move in and quickly leave. A number of other families moved in and out of the house, and none stayed for long. All of them reported sounds and voices that could not be explained. The house at that point was abandoned for several years, but the last family that moved in reported that nothing out of the ordinary was going on, so they think that maybe the shit faded, or they were just that maybe after more than 40 years the spirits of the family can maybe rest in peace, or maybe it was after this motherfucker died. So let's get back to that. Okay, so nope, we already read that. Stop it. So the original trial for this douchebag pickle fucker,
Douche kebab,
was in Ohio in June 1975, so just a few months after the murders. I don't understand this at all. Tell me, maybe saying it out loud will make sense, but when I was reading it earlier, I was like, what the fuck? A 3-judge panel found Rupert guilty on 11 counts of murder and sentenced him to life in prison on July 3rd. A mistrial was declared. This is what I don't understand.
What?
Listen, a mistrial was declared because the 3-judge panel did not know if the ruling had to be unanimous or majority rule. You're the goddamn judges. You make the rule. Right. Isn't that the most ridiculous fucking thing? The judges didn't know. Okay, so it was decided that the retrial would be held in Findlay, Ohio, 125 miles north, because it was believed he could not receive a fair trial in Hamilton. So the second trial begins July 23rd.
What's fair? He fucking did it.
Right. Maybe that's where the whole insanity thing came in, or
String his ass up by his fucking ankles or his toes
or
and
his balls. He killed children.
He doesn't even deserve that.
Okay, so prosecutors revealed evidence involving the witnesses who had seen him doing the target practice and asking about the silencers, and I'm going to assume the lady at the bar, that Wanda Bishop was her name. I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, it was Wanda. And admitting that his mother's expectations were a problem that he needed to solve. So I'm going to say yes, they did talk to Wanda. He received 11 consecutive life sentences. On appeal, because, he appealed it, a new trial was granted in 1982.
He didn't even... Okay.
I want to say in cases like that, appeals are automatic. Maybe. I don't know.
How about let's not just go around killing 11 fucking people. Especially 8 children. Dumb fuck.
Yeah. So his defense attorney, Hugh Holbrook, was convinced his client was insane. The lawyer personally funded the hiring of expert psychiatrists and psychologists from all over the country. This man believed in his client's insanity, or at least wanted people to believe he did. On July 23rd, 1982, so the same day it started, I don't know, another 3-judge panel found Rupert guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder for his mother and brother, but found him not guilty on the other 9 counts of murder by reason of insanity. I don't understand that. But he received one...
So he's perfectly sane killing his mother and his brother, but insane
when he kills
his sister-in-law and the kids?
Maybe because of the abuse and torture that... torture is not the right word, maybe. But he obviously felt a lot of animosity towards them. And I got a feeling the other ones were killed just because, I can't leave witnesses now.
He fucking called the police and pretty much told on himself. It's like wiping before you shit.
Yep.
That's no reason.
So he received 1 life sentence for each count. So 1 life sentence for his mother and 1 for his brother. Capital punishment, so the death sentence, had been suspended in the United States from 1972 to 1976. But he committed his crime in 75, so it fell into that. So he couldn't get the death penalty.
Of course.
And on July 30th, 1982, at the age of 48, Rupert was incarcerated with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction at the Franklin Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. And, if you want his inmate number, it's A169321. I don't really give a shit. In June 1995, at the age of 61, he was granted a hearing before the state parole board, but his release was denied. He received subsequent parole board hearings in 2005 when he was 71, and in 2015 at the age of 81. He was denied at all of them, and his next one would have taken place this year, but he died.
Shame.
In 2015, the Allen Oakwood Correctional Institution Parole Board released a statement that says, quote, "The board has determined that the inmate is not suitable for release at this time. The inmate has not completed any recommended programmings and does not appear to be willing to do so. The inmate's record notes negative institutional conduct. The inmate took the lives of multiple victims. There has been strong community objections to his release. The release of this inmate would not be in the best interest of justice." Actually, his next parole board hearing would have been April, so this month of 2025, at the age of 91. But at the age of 88, Rupert died on June 4th, 2022, of natural causes, while incarcerated at the Franklin Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. And that is the story of the Easter Sunday Massacre.
I wish he would have lived till 91 so he could hurt another no.
Right. Right. But he didn't. He died. And, I'm not saying the adults, but man, the kids. Especially the younger one.
Right,
The
if you're
youngest
worried-
at 4.
Right, it's like if you're worried about them identifying you, you fucking told on yourself.
Right. Or, maybe just, like you said, don't do it. Don't ruin Easter.
Take your ass back to bed.
Yeah, go back to bed. Go to the bar. Well, it's probably Easter Sunday. Back then, everything was closed on holidays.
Except for convenience stores. Go get drunk in a ditch somewhere.
Right. I don't know.
Loser.
So, that's pretty horrible. I can't. It's horrible. No matter how you slice it, it's bad. It's not. Don't do it. But I'm glad he got denied 3 times to his face.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would have to say the parole board would have said no. Again.
I feel like he should have faced the parole board almost every year or every other year, just so he would have been able to hear 11 no's.
Yeah, I don't know how that works though.
Every 5 or 10 years, depending on your sentence.
Yeah. Oh, my tooth is bothering me.
You want me to knock it the fuck out?
No.
Damn.
It hurts though.
Not forget about it?
Leave me alone. I will get a restraining order.
Okay. Can't stay away from me for long.
Bitch, I'll need you. JK. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Very. It's sad because the kids had their whole lives ahead of them.
Yeah. I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, Alma was only 38. She could have moved on. She could have found someone else to help her with the kids. Right?
Could have got back with the brother.
Well, no, because then she would have been a prison wife, and that would be a whole reality show.
Her and the kids would still be alive.
True. I don't know. It's fucking awful that, and especially to pick a holiday
Of all days.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Alma had family. Like, maybe her parents were still alive. Maybe she had some siblings. So I imagine Easter for them, for the rest of their lives, sucked. Terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Easter Sunday Massacre. And like I said, I was just scrolling while procrastinating, getting to my notes, and I'm like, oh, they're asking about this. Let me do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of cool because there's a little bit of haunting at the end with the house being haunted. At least several families moved in and out.
Maybe the families that did move in and out, maybe they were hearing the voices and whatnot, maybe because they reacted to turmoil. Because the last family that lived there said that they didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean turmoil, but I mean, and they say, like, if you die in a traumatic way,
yes,
and suddenly, you may not know you're dead.
Right. You're like, who the fuck is you in my house?
Right. So, and there's like intelligent hauntings and residual. So maybe some of it was residual. But I feel if lights are being turned on and doors are opening and closing, that's intelligent.
Yeah, and they could just be reacting to certain energies going on within the home.
Yeah. Or again, it was still, I mean, a year later, it was still pretty new.
Yeah.
And the fact that, still blood on the floor, probably in the basement. And it's not that they knew what happened in the house because they were new to the area. It even says they had no
the first
idea.
Family.
Well, it doesn't say if the other families were from the area or knew about it either. It just said several families
Yeah,
moved
they
in and out.
probably knew. Yeah, some of them probably knew about it and wanted to take a chance at living in a place that has horrible.
Would you ever live in a house where
No,
murder?
but some people are fucking out there.
Look, I tell you what, if I lived closer, don't think I wouldn't buy the Watts house.
See?
Oh, there's Watts News.
Oh my god.
There's more, but there's more.
But there's more.
So, remember me saying that? Shut up. Okay, the murders happened in August of 2018, and they knew that Chris had a girlfriend, that they were keeping her name, like, out of everything. But she went public, like, I believe December, like, after he was sentenced. And pulled the, he lied to me about so much, and blah, 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 and wham, wham. And they even took professional photos. And a lot of people think that she was angling for a book, like Amber Fry did after Scott Peterson killed Lacey and Connor.
Yeah.
Because actually, if you look at the pictures of Chris's mistress and Amber Fry's book cover, almost identical. Like, she tried to go for that look. But anyway, she has not been publicly spotted since December of 2018. Until over the weekend.
Okay.
You know how, I mean, I think before, but especially since COVID, like, a lot of church services are, like, shared online, so people that don't want to go out and be around COVID people, and not COVID people, not that, but they don't want to chance it, they're older, they can't get around, whatever, and she is seen at this church, like, literally walking towards the camera.
Gotta ask for forgiveness for being a fucking hoe and making a man kill his family.
And, you know, it makes me wonder if maybe people didn't recognize her because she has put on a little bit of weight.
Fat bitch.
Well, she's still not fat, but, she's puffier for sure. And someone said that she works at some funeral home, which is weird. But whatever. So she apparently has been seen for the first time out in public since 2018.
That's crazy.
And I've seen multiple videos, and then people, like, freezing the video and doing a side by side, and there's no way it's not her. It's her. I'll show you the video later. It's her.
Okay.
Like, she has been seen. Yep. She's been seen. And now I'm waiting, because obviously this is viral all over TikTok, and I've seen a couple posts on Facebook. So either she's gonna hide again, or she's just gonna say, fuck it, I've been spotted, and just
go about her day.
I do know, one of the people this woman is, she's crazy, but she was getting people that nobody else was getting to talk about the case. Like, she had one of Shanann Watts' best friends on her show.
Oh.
I'm not saying her name on here. She was in, like, a lot of, like, group discussions, like, on YouTube of the case. And actually the Netflix documentary, there's actually a clip of her voice calling Shanann a bitch. Yeah, but she went on vacation to Frederick, Colorado, and she went to a lot of the spots that were important to the case, like the Lazy Dog restaurant where they went out to dinner the night before that Saturday before the murders. They went to the apartment where she lived. She wasn't living there at the time they went, but yeah, she's out there, and they're, and they even went to Nicole's father's house where he was having a goddamn garage sale at the time that she was out there. So he's sitting there watching all the shit at the garage sale. My guess, because the woman would go on and do like live podcasts on YouTube. So they obviously had to know who she was. They had to know who she was. So they probably saw her coming. And if Nicole was staying with her dad, who's a Freemason, by the way, which that's what they think, like maybe how she was able to disappear off the face of the earth with not a single friend came forward, not a schoolmate, not an ex, nobody. Like, nobody sold this bitch out. Not a single fucking person. She's like the Beyonce of the true crime world.
Mom.
Telling ya. But, like, nobody fucking... No, I mean, there was people that she had dealt with in the past. One guy claiming that she pulled a knife on him. I don't remember. Something about her parents were gone, and it was a whole thing. But other than that, like, no one said, like, oh, she's here, I spotted her here. This thing, the video of the church service, is the first time she has been spotted in public in, what, over 6 years?
Yeah, but how sure are you that it's her?
Oh, it's her. It's her.
Oh, okay.
When we're done, I'll show you the video.
Okay.
It's.
I don't even know what the fuck this bitch looks like.
I'll show. Girl, I got you. I got you.
I can't.
I got you. It's crazy. But on that note, we have been babbling now for almost an hour. But I almost forgot. But yeah, I had to tell you because last week we talked about how Chris Watts was moved from one prison to another.
Did we ever find out why?
No. My guess is they move him around for a while, and now with him being in minimum security, or not minimum, medium. Fuck, I keep doing that. Now he's in medium. So, and I don't know how they work. So I don't know, like, because before he was segregated from general population because, you know, people wanted.
He's a baby killer.
Yeah. Can you hear the thunder?
Please don't.
Yeah, I don't want to lose power again because that was so bad. So before anything happens,
Probably should end this now.
Let's say goodnight.
We love you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.